We're very pleased with our interim results for the 6 months to December 2012. We've managed to increase our revenue by 13% to 162 million in the 6 months, and we've increased our operating profit by 37% to 5.8 million. We've also increased our earnings per share by 55%. We've also managed to control our cost base and to increase productivity across the group as a whole. I'm particularly pleased with the increase in our permanent placement business, which is up 21% year on year. Really, this is a very encouraging sign, because what it's telling us is that despite a still very challenging employment environment, people are getting jobs. What we're seeing is that certain sectors are doing better than others. So, for example, we're seeing increased demand in the technology sector, finance and accounting. The energy sector is doing well. We're also seeing there's demand in the pharmaceutical sector. So some sectors performing certainly much better than others, but it's encouraging to see that people are getting permanent jobs. What this figure also tells us is that people are getting more confident about changing jobs. Because, a year ago or 2 years ago, because people were really fearful of the labour market, they were less inclined to move jobs. So I think it's encouraging to see some confidence coming back into the permanent placement market. One of the highlights of our results is that we now have 8,500 people working on client site. In our results to the end of June 2012, we had 7,850 people working on behalf of Cpl and client sites. We have increased that by 650 people to 8,500. So I think I'm really pleased with the fact that Cpl have put an additional 650 people to work in a 6-month period, and I think that's a very good result. One of the things that we're seeing in the labour market at the moment is that people are taking positions on a temporary and on a contract basis where they can't get permanent jobs. And I think this is particularly good, because quite often that will lead to a permanent job for somebody, and it's much easier to get a job when you have a job. So I think it's really great to see the increase in the number of people at work. The employment landscape is challenging at present. However, there are some encouraging signs. So, for example, I think we've seen some slight improvement in the economy, and domestic demand increased in Q3 2012 for the first time in 4 years. And the reality is we need to see an increase in demand in order for real jobs to be created. So I do think that's an encouraging sign. Furthermore, foreign direct investment held up well during 2012. And the IDA actually said that 2012 was their best year since 2000 for foreign direct investment in Ireland. And certainly that is helping the labour market and the employment environment. So I suppose what I'd say is that I'm cautiously optimistic for 2013. Cpl are involved in a number of initiatives to help with both job creation and the training and development of those people who are unemployed and who want to upskill. So just to give you an example of one of the initiatives that we're involved with is the Momentum project. Cpl are going to train up to 650 people for both the food sector and also for the healthcare sector. We're particularly excited about this initiative because we see how it can be of huge benefit to those people who are in long-term unemployment and who are finding it difficult to get a job. And one of the things that we know very clearly is that when people have been unemployed for a long time, they can lose their confidence. What we're going to do here with the Momentum programme is we're going to provide training. We provide additional coaching about how to get jobs. The training will be fully accredited, and we're also going to provide work experience to the individuals on the programmes. So we're working on this on a nationwide basis. We'll have a number of centres both in Dublin, Cork, Limerick, Galway, and indeed in the Midlands. The training will take place over a 6 to 8 month period, and I have to say I'm very optimistic about the outcomes.